Hi, Douglas Simonson here with a painting demonstration. Today I'm going to be doing a male nude in grayscale. My model today is Mike T, one of my favorite models from my Hawaii days, and the image I'm going to be working from is from a photo shoot we did at a secluded beach on Oahu when I lived there. The photo is in color, but I'm going to be changing it to grayscale because, as I said, today I'm painting in all grays. I'm also going to be doing my usual Photoshop tweak to remove detail and make the image easier to work from. And if you want to know more about how and why I do this, check out my video on this channel called Using Photoshop to Make Photos Easier to Paint From. I take the tweaked image and use it as a reference then to transfer those big, basic, no detail shapes to the canvas with pencil. Then I cover the whole thing with an acrylic wash, and while that's drying, I start mixing my colors. Although in this case, I should say I'm going to start mixing my grays. And once I've got those basic grays mixed, I start painting. I usually start with the darkest darks, but in this case I'm going to start with the lightest lights because, I don't know, it just felt right for me to put in that big area of sand first. You can really start with anything, but it's best to start with one of the big dominant shapes in the painting, whether it's light or it's dark. Once I've got those lightest lights in, then I start with the darkest darks. So from the darkest darks, I basically go to the next lightest gray and then the next lightest gray and so forth until I reach a certain point where I then need to put in some lights, because once you get into the middle tones, it really helps to have the lightest lights and the darkest darks in place, and then you can judge if your mid tones are going to be right. One thing that might not be clear from this video is how many times I had to make corrections. With acrylic paints, they are lighter when they're wet and then they get darker when they dry. So a lot of times you'll have an area that looks like it's just right, and then 10 minutes later you look at it and it's too dark, and then you have to remix that shade and try again. This happens a lot with acrylic paints, so if it happens to you, relax. You're normal. Doesn't mean you're not a good painter. A grayscale painting like this is sometimes called a value study because there's no color, just values, just lights and darks. If you struggle with painting in color, a value study can really be helpful because a lot of color problems are not really color problems at all, they're value problems. You may have the perfect red or the perfect blue, but if it's a little too light or a little too dark, it's not going to work. then you might think the color is wrong. The color is fine, it's just that it's too light or too dark. So it's not a color issue, it's a values issue. Doing value studies or grayscale paintings can really help you get better at seeing values when you're painting in color, and that can really help your paintings. And that's the final painting, entitled 15 Shades of Gray. You can see it now on my website in the paintings gallery of the members only section. And if you go there and you don't see it, it might just not be in rotation at the moment, but you can still see it. Just go to the search icon, the little magnifying glass in the upper right, and then type in the title, 15 Shades of Gray, or just 15 will probably find it, and it'll pop right up. Just FYI. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed watching me paint, and I hope this encourages you to try some value studies, some grayscale paintings on your own. They're a really valuable exercise. Please subscribe if you haven't already. That inspires me to do more videos. And if you got a little inspired watching me paint today, great! Put on your painting pants and go paint!